this is Liz from the Beverly Public Library. Welcome to STEAM Scribbles, where we're going to explore different science, technology, engineering, and math concepts using just pencils and paper. This week we're going to take a closer look at Venn diagrams together. Venn diagrams are a really useful tool for sorting out different sets or a collection of objects based on what they have in common and what they don't. And we get to decide what they have in common and what they don't. So let me show you a quick example before we start making our own Venn diagrams. So, first I'm going to draw. I'm just choosing random objects that I know will have some things in common and some things not in common. So first I'm going to draw a heart. And then over here, drawing a very quick apple. Draw a little leaf, you'll be able to tell it's an apple. There we go. And I'm going to draw one more thing, so we need a full collection of things to sort, which means we need at least 3 objects. So here's my third thing. I'm going to draw a banana. Okay, so I have a set. These are my 3 objects in my set, and I have to figure out a way to sort them. So first I have to decide what they have in common and what they don't. So the first thing that I would say has something in common are I have a heart and an apple, and they're both red. So I'm going to circle those because they have red in common. But I'm not going to include the banana because the banana is not red. Is there anything else here that you see that might have something in common? I think the apple and the banana both are fruit, so I'm going to circle them to show that they share that trait. But I'm going to keep the heart out of that circle because the heart is not a fruit. And you'll see now what I have here is a Venn diagram. So a Venn diagram will have overlapping circles that demonstrate different characteristics. So this one is red. This one is a fruit. So in the left circle, the one that's supposed to include only things that are red, I have my red heart by itself over here, but I also have my red apple. Over here in my is a fruit circle, I have my yellow banana. It's not in the red circle, but it does also include the red apple. And you see that the apple's in the center where the 2 circles overlap because it is both red and it is a fruit. My banana is not in the red circle and my heart is not in the fruit circle. And that's what a Venn diagram does. It shows us in a clear visual way how we are sorting a set based on the categories that we decide on. So my categories were is red and is a fruit. So now that we know what a Venn diagram is, we can start thinking about a diagram we want to make for ourselves. So for our Venn diagrams, the first thing we need to think about is what our set of objects are. So we could choose random objects like I did before and then sort them into categories based on what we have, or we could choose a set of objects that all have one category in common to start with. So you could choose to do 3 of your toys or 3 animals that you like or 3 types of food. I'm going to choose for mine to do 3 types of hats this time. One of my hats is going to be a bicycle helmet, one is going to be a chef's hat, and one is going to be a witch's hat. So if you can think of what your individual objects in your set are going to be, we're going to draw those first. Try to draw your 3 objects as though they're corners on a triangle with lots of space between them. I know I drew mine in a line, but I knew how I was going to sort them before. I sorted them. We don't know what our categories are yet. So it's easier if you draw them as though they're the three corners, so that way you can draw a circle around any two of them without including the third object. It's easier that way. You'll see what I mean on my Venn diagram. So let's start by scribbling our objects together, okay? Let's go. Welcome back, Scribblers. By now you should have your three objects drawn, and that means it's time for us to decide how we're going to sort them. So what are your categories going to be? You could choose anything to be your categories, really. If you drew different animals, you could sort them by how many legs they have, or you could sort them by which ones you'd like to have as a pet, or you could sort them by which ones have patterns and which ones are solid colors. I'm going to sort my hats based on function, or how they're used. So I'm going to have a category of which ones I use just for fun, which ones I use to accomplish a specific thing and not for fun, and which ones I might use for both. So let's start with the for fun hats. I think I'd be wearing a witch's hat for fun, for sure. And I think a chef's hat is pretty fun too, because I could, if I were cooking in the kitchen, that's when I would wear a chef's hat. But I don't have to wear a chef's hat to cook. I can, but I could also just tie my hair back like I have it now, or I could wear a hairnet. So chef's hat is just kind of a fun thing to add when I'm in the kitchen. But I wear a bike helmet specifically not for fun. That is to protect my head. So I'm gonna draw a circle around these two hats that I wear just for fun. Now I have to think about which hats I wear for a specific reason. So we definitely wear our bike helmets to protect our heads while we're biking in case we fall, right? I don't wear the witch's hat for any real reason. It's just because I'm dressing up. I'd like to wear it. The chef's hat I'm wearing in the kitchen, and it is for fun, but it can also keep my hair back so that I don't get hair in the food that I'm cooking, right? So it's for a sanitary reason, or to keep my hair away from the food. But like I said, I don't have to use a chef's hat for that. There are other ways to do it. So it is also for fun. So I'm gonna draw a circle around my chef's hat and around my bike helmet to show that I wear both of those for a reason as well. So now here's another Venn diagram. So this time I have a for a reason category, a for fun category, and I have this overlapping circle where I have the hat that I wear both for fun and for a good reason. So now that you've gotten the hang of how to draw a Venn diagram once we have our sets in mind, let's say we don't know what we want to organize yet. We just know what categories we want to organize them into, and then we're gonna figure out what is in our set afterwards. Let's see how that would go. So this time, instead of drawing our specific objects within our set first, I'm first going to draw my circles. And you can do that too. So I've drawn a couple more circles. You see that this time I've drawn them a little smaller because I'm planning to add another circle later, but that's last. For right now, we're just going to continue to draw a Venn diagram the same way as before, but this time we're not thinking about what our individual objects in our sets are before we make our Venn diagram. So we need to come up with our categories first. And since our categories could be anything, That's a lot of options. So let's make sure, just to narrow it down, let's use the same set category as we did before. So if you drew toys before, stick with toys, but you don't necessarily need to draw the same toys you did. Since I drew hats before, I will still draw hats, but maybe I won't use a witch's hat or a chef's hat or a bicycle helmet. Maybe I'll come up with different hats that make sense for the categories I come up with. So, since we're sticking with hats, I have to think about another way I could organize hats besides for why I wear them. So I could organize them by color or by shape or by what material they're made out of, but I think I'm gonna organize them by what time of year I wear them in, or what season. So I'm going to have a circle for hats I wear in winter, and a circle for hats that I wear in summer. And that helps out, right? Because now I can think of specific hats that might make sense. What kind of hats do I wear in winter? What kind of hats do I wear in summer? What kind of hats do I wear in either winter or summer? So if you have your categories in mind, hopefully that'll help you think of specific objects that make sense to go in those categories, and we can start drawing those in. So let's get back to scribbling. Your second Venn diagram turn out? Did you think it was easier or harder to think of the categories first and then think of the items? I think it's a challenge, but it's really easy to understand once we've got it complete. So you can see in my Venn diagram, over here in my summer circle, I have my floppy sun hat to protect my head from the sun, so I don't get too many sunburns on my face. And I also brought back my bicycle helmet because I would wear my bicycle helmet in the summer as long as I'm riding my bike. And over here in my winter hat section, I have my fuzzy warm knit hat that I wear. And I also have my bicycle helmet because if I'm biking in the winter, I still need my bicycle helmet. So in the center, in my overlap, my bicycle helmet is for winter and for summer, but my sun hat is not for winter and my knit hat is not for summer. Now if you want an extra challenge, I said we were going to draw a third circle, and I'm going to show you what that would look like. It's going to make it a little tougher, but I think we're up for it. Okay, ready? And if you don't have enough space on your page, you can always recreate this. Get a new page and draw 3 more circles so that you have lots of space for your hats or your toys or your animals or whatever you're drawing. Now that we have a third circle, we need to choose a third category. And you could choose something that's related to your first 2 categories. So for me, I could choose a hat that I only wear in the spring or a hat that I wear in the fall. Or you could choose a category that's not at all related to the categories you've used before. So I'm going to bring back my for fun category and see how that works. And just to bring back that first example, that's what we did in the first example here. So whether something is red and whether something's a fruit, normally those are not categories that are related to one another, but you can still sort things that way. So that's how we end up with a red apple in the center. So once you've decided on a third category, let's think about what sections we have left to fill. So we already have these first 3 that we've already done. So we need a hat that is just for fun. We need a hat in this overlap section that's for fun and that we wear in summer. We need a hat that's for fun and that we wear in winter. And in this middle section, we need a hat that we wear for fun in summer and in winter. So if you've got your objects in mind that make sense for those spots, let's scribble those in. Scribblers, welcome back. Check out my new Venn diagram that I've updated. So we have the original 3 hats I did, and they still make sense where they are because I don't wear any of these hats for fun, really. They have a reason I'm wearing them. But in my for fun category, I have my witch's hat. I brought that back because I wear it on Halloween. I don't tend to wear it in the summer or the winter, only in the fall, really. So it doesn't belong in the winter circle or the summer circle, but it belongs in the for fun circle. In my for fun and in summer hat, I put a propeller hat. Have you ever seen one of those? It's a little hat that you wear that has a propeller at the top that the breeze makes go fast. So you want to wear it when it's sunny and warm out and there's lots of breeze. So summer's a good time, but you probably wouldn't want to wear it in winter because it's too cold. And over here in my winter and for fun hat, I have an animal hat that has long paws that I can put my hands into to keep them warm. You might have a hat like that. Mine's a cat. And it's definitely for fun, but it's also definitely just a winter hat because it's too hot in the summer to wear that thing. And in the middle, I brought back my chef's hat because my chef's hat, as we said before, is for fun, but I would wear it probably in the summer or in the winter because I might cook in either season. So now you've seen a Venn diagram. How did yours turn out? I'd really like to see it, so be sure to share it on social media with the hashtag SteamScribbles, and be sure to tune in next week for another episode of Steam Scribbles. See you next time, Scribblers.